A famous case in English law, the McLibel case. On 5th of February 2005, the longest case in English legal history came to an end. The case lasted for an amazing 9 years and 6 months, the longest case in either criminal or civil legal history. There were 313 days of legal argument in court and 20,000 pages of court transcripts, which are the documents that record what happened in court. 130 witnesses gave oral evidence to the court. This case was based upon the law Tort. The case was famous all over the world because of the nickname that people gave to it. This nickname was the McLibel case. The claimant in the McLibel case was of course McDonald's, the chain of fast food restaurants. The case was so famous that the word McLibel now appears in some respected English dictionaries. The facts of the case are as follows. The defendants in this case, Helen and David Morris, belonged to a group of people who were worried about the environment and about the way that certain large corporations were behaving in relation to the environment. The group decided that the best way to tell the public about this was to give out leaflets containing information about the problem. In 1990, Helen and David stood outside several McDonald's restaurants in London. They gave leaflets to people who were in the area. The title of the leaflets was "What's Wrong with the McDonald's? Everything They Didn't Want You to Know." The problem was that the leaflets contained some very controversial claims. For example, the leaflets said that McDonald's was partly to blame for the destruction of the rainforests. It also claimed that the McDonald's food was unhealthy and eating too much of this food could give people health problems later in life. In 1990, McDonald's issued a claim against Helen and David on the grounds of libel. The company did not need proof of damage, as liable as actionable person. The libel trial started in 1994. There was no judgment until 3 years later. Helen and David were found to be guilty of libel. In 1999, Helen and David applied, but again they were ordered to pay damages to McDonald's. Helen and David refused to pay the damages. They decided instead of appeal to the European Court of Human Rights in Strasbourg. 2 barristers from England represented Helen and David in Strasbourg. The Strasbourg court made a decision that changed English law. The court decided that the English courts followed the correct procedure, but that nevertheless the trial in England was unfair. This was mainly because Helen and David were poor compared to a big corporation such as McDonald's, which meant that they could not pay for an expensive legal team. As a result of this, Helen and David's defense was not so well prepared. The court also ruled that the Helen and David's right to free expressions was violated. The court awarded Helen and David damages of nearly €47,000. Thank you for listening, Maral Advocate channel. See you in the next podcast.